Two guys, one bench.
Shit talking. Strength sports. Combat sports. Over.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Two Guys, One Bench, where we're 650 pounds of shit talking on a 30-pound bench that's barely holding us up. Thrill.
Where we're talking more shit than wiggers at a gas station saying nigga.
Oh shit. Watch this clip. Boom!
Fuck you from, nigga? You from here? Get the fuck out of here, you a clown, nigga. Oh God, you a clown, nigga. You from here? You a clown. What, you gonna smack me with that? Smack me. Smack me! Smack me, nigga. Come on, yeah. Drop it. Drop it.
Yeah, you got yours, buddy.
Call me another fucking nigga. I don't give a fuck.
Shit talking. Resolute. Prepare yourself for battle.
All right, everybody, let's get this shit talking started right. My rant of the week is social media fucking icons or moguls, people with, 10K plus followers, thinking that they're this fucking imaginary rock star. But in reality, Darrell, they're just some normal pieces of shit on the streets. Probably can't even really talk to people or look them in the eyes. I mean, the whole thing about people kind of getting their identity from their Instagram accounts and who they are and getting, likes and comments. It's just a bad way to represent yourself. And if you can't, get some friends on the outside and some real followers and some integrity outside of Instagram, then who the hell are you really? Darrell?
Yeah, really, your Instagram likes are only going to be there as long as you're entertaining. They're not going to be there when you need those people. So it's fake gratification, really. You feel good about yourself because you got some likes, but you have to live your life outside of social media.
Yeah. And how easy is it for, women just to post a picture of their ass, and some lingerie and get, 10,000 people following them. And then all of a sudden pop out a little OnlyFans account. Boom. Oh, I'm making some money. Yeah, you are. But you're also, letting your future kind of hang in the gallows because, when you're 20 years from now and you got two kids and little Jeffrey goes on the internet and goes, oh, let's see what mommy's name comes up. And there's a picture of you with your fucking ass and tits hanging out. What are you going to do?
And what I want to talk about is ungrateful lifters. Now, I realize this is something that's more in North America, but after getting off an amazing interview with Janna and hearing about how things are over in Bulgaria, it just made me realize there's a lot of ungrateful fucking athletes here. We are currently in a lockdown here in Alberta, so it does suck for some people. You can't have access to your gym. You only have to do home workouts. You have limited equipment. So the fuck what? It could be a lot worse. Do you travel to another city to have to work out when things are open? No, you probably don't. Do you have to use bare minimum equipment when you go to a gym? No, you probably don't. So shut the fuck up. Some amazing lifters come out of garage gyms and home gyms. If you don't have one, well, shut the fuck up. Build one. It's just that simple. Oh, I don't have the space. Not a fucking excuse. I know plenty of people who live in apartments and condos who put equipment into their kitchens and living rooms. Just make it work. If it's something you love, you'll make time for it. Otherwise, you'll make excuses and bitch and whine about how life's so unfair and they need to open up the gyms because you were too lazy and didn't want to dedicate your time into building your own space.
Yeah, and I also find that these are the same motherfuckers. They're out there with their newest SBD fucking lift kits. They got the sleeves, they got the wraps, they got the belts, they got the fucking shirts. They got everything there is to lift except for actually doing the fucking lifting. So how about you take some fucking time to put some work under the bar and instead of being this fucking poser ass and Instagram powerlifter, follow me, I'm a coach, I can get you. No, you can't, motherfuckers. So that's what I wanted to say.
Choices and consequences. Misfit. Strength sports. Powerlifting. powerlifting motivation.
What's up, everybody? We just got off an amazing interview all the way in Bulgaria with Jana from 𝐓.𝐆.𝐻, an awesome page on Instagram that celebrates women who lift. The beauty, and then not only that, but the power of women. And it's an amazing page. I've been following it for a while. And I reached out to her a while back, and we become, friends interacting. It's great to have her on, and I know you're going to enjoy it. Darrell?
I really enjoyed it, hearing her take on some things in the current state of powerlifting and lifting in her country in general. And the biggest takeaway was what they have to train with and how grateful and humble the lifters over there are, opposed to some people over here who whine about little inconveniences. But it was a great interview.
So we talk about that and a ton of more stuff. Get to know Jana. She's amazing. And follow her page at 𝐓.𝐻. Here you go. Boom. All right, everybody. We're here with Jana from 𝐓.𝐻 on Instagram. She runs the page, an amazing page, and she's an amazing person. We're happy to have her on all the way from Bulgaria. How's it going, Jana?
Thanks for inviting me. Well, it's going pretty well. Going on a cut after the holidays, just like everybody else. And yeah.
Cut? I don't know what that is. Darrell?
No, I've been steady gaining.
When you're weight.
I know, but we're just fat, so we don't know that. Anyways, so yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about your page, 𝐓.𝐻, because you are actually our first female guest. So thanks for coming on. We've had way too many sausages. It's been a sausage party. And so for having a female person on, this is awesome. So let us know, when did you start 𝐓.𝐻?
I got involved in 𝐓.𝐻 probably like a year ago. It was created and developed from Ted Kostov, who is also admin of Powerlifting Motivation. But I wanted to take it and do something a little bit different than what it was, because there was a lot of content, but there was no actually message to the page. So I wanted to take it and transform it as I see it as a woman. It needed a woman touch, so to say, and I did it. I think it's going pretty well, because I gained like 25,000 followers. Wow. From the time until now.
Wow, that's huge. Yeah, in a year. Yeah, it's definitely taken off and growing. And I do like the message. It does have a little bit of, obviously guys can tune in and look and admire, but it also shows that women are strong and they have a story. So I love that.
Yeah,
I wanted to add more women to the target, because it was basically guys going there and admiring naked women, because that's what. But since I took it, I have more female following, which I like very much, because I want this to be a page where women go and they get motivated and they see other women lifting weights and doing strength sports without being afraid that they will start looking like a man. The common thinking, like if I touch a barbell, I'm gonna look like a man. And I wanted to change that, and I think I succeeded, because a lot of women DM me and they say like, thank you for running the page, thank you for having this page, so I can see how other women do it and how they look. I don't know if that sounds good, but
No, it did. Like Russ and I are big fans of the page because we think women who lift, it's sexy as fuck. So, and you're putting out a great message, and you touched on it a bit, but what are some other like misconceptions you think women have about anyone that lifts?
well, basically, I think that they are mostly afraid of how are they going to look in the end. And I'm sorry, somebody went in. I have kids around. What did you ask me? I'm sorry.
Just like, what do you think some of the fears are of women around strength sports and around lifting in general? What do you think they're scared of and prevents them from doing it?
Well, from what I've seen and from what I experienced for myself, because I didn't start as a power lifter, I was just a trainee like everybody else. And I was afraid that it is just too masculine of a sport. Like you need a certain amount of aggression to do it, which is true. And that it will make me look like a man, that I will be more manly. And when I started doing it, I was very, very like conservative at the beginning. I didn't want to go too far. And this didn't happen. As you can see me, like
Yeah.
I get my girlish. And also I think that powerlifting started growing like worldwide, and a lot of people got involved. And before this, it was kind of more of an underground sport, because it was only equipped, as you know. Raw powerlifting is in competitions and in sports like for the last 10-20 years, I guess. And old generation of people who were weightlifting, the old generation of athletes, they were more dedicated into the sport, and they did look more manly. And things changed a lot. Since raw powerlifting is on the stage, everything changed. Like everybody can do it, which is great.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Darrell and I are both also personal trainers and coaches, and we have a lot of female clients. And often the misconception, and I get this all the time, is like, oh, I can't lift weights. I don't want to get big muscles and look like a man. And it's so much, the opposite of that. And then when I get my female clients to start lifting, squatting, deadlifting, their waist gets smaller, or they get a nicer ass and glutes, their legs get thicker, they fill in tights better, they just look better, right? And they didn't realize it. Then, instead of being like a skinny fat, where it's like I'm skinny, but I have no muscle tone and everything's kind of like loose skin. And it's just, people need to, especially women, need to realize that lifting is going to make them look 10 times better.
According to my personal experience, to your female clients, I can tell one thing. For the last 2 years, I gained personal weight, probably like 7 kilograms. I weighed 7 kilograms more, and I lost 10 centimeters in the waist and gained 10 centimeters in my butt. So yeah.
There you go. Proof. So yeah, you've been powerlifting yourself. And have you been competing at all, or?
Yeah, I've been competing in Bulgaria up until now. Like I went outside 2 years ago. No, year and a half. No, exactly 1 year. I'm sorry. But then Corona happened and I couldn't compete outside. So it was in 𝐓.𝐆.𝐻 in the Russian Federation. I went to Moscow. It's a great competition, great atmosphere and so on. But I competed here in Bulgaria for quite a few times, probably 7, 8, I don't remember. Wow. I won several times. Wow. There is a lot of women here competing, but it's growing. It's growing. We had 124 competitors in the last competition, and it's a small country, so it's a success.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations. That's pretty cool. Yeah. And I'm really happy with your results from, strength training. You lost the weight and you put on inches in the right places. So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I gained. I was a bit too skinny when I started.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, some girls are like unhealthy skinny, and they use the scale as kind of like their measurement. Oh, I have to be this certain weight, but they don't realize their body composition, body
I did
fat.
that. I did that, and I wanted to have a six pack with all the veins and the cool stuff, and I did it, and then I lost my period.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Yeah,
I had to go on medication to bring it back and to change my diet completely. So
yes, I've heard that many a times for women that do bodybuilding. They get to really unrealistic body fat levels, and then their whole hormonal function just turns off. It's terrible. And then they
mhm.
rebound and get bigger. I've seen that 100 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now with your page, you're kind of putting out a more positive image of what girls should be doing with their body. And obviously now this year, we've seen a bit of a shift in Instagram. And I don't know how it is if you're noticing it as much, but there's been a big shift of these Instagram girls now going to OnlyFans. And that's kind of a giant thing this year, especially because everybody's in the house. They got nothing else to do. So they have to make a living somehow. Just kind of wanted to see what your opinion on the girls who do it, or what do you think about it?
Uh, I'll start with that. I'm from the Balkans, and our morals here are a bit more, how to say, not so modern. I'm all about going out and doing whatever makes you feel happy about yourself. And I don't mind any way of people making their money. I will not judge. I think people should do something that when they turn around in 20 years, they're proud of what they're doing. And if this is something that you don't want to show your kids or your family, then you probably shouldn't be there.
Yeah, that's kind of what Russ and I talked about. It's probably great for the money. Like, we know people that do it, but at the same time, like you said, you got to be proud of it, and you shouldn't be embarrassed if you're doing it. You've got to, because anything that goes on the internet is there pretty much permanently from now on. So if you don't want your kids to see it, then you probably, I don't know, maybe shouldn't be doing it or think about it more.
It's been like this for the last few years. Everything that goes on the internet stays on the internet. But I think that Instagram and TikTok and also OnlyFans is creating a toxic environment for the people, because it's an easy way to expose yourself and to get attention, and your dopamine levels go high and everything goes higher. You meet more friends and you feel popular and so on. But then on the other hand, that's not the reality. That's not the case. Then you have to meet real people and you have to create real relationships, and then you struggle because you're used to getting all the attention and you're used to only be approved. And then you meet people in person and they tell you something and you're like, who the hell are you to talk to me this way? I'm so popular.
Yeah.
That's not true, because you're creating whatever you do. We run our Instagram's profiles, but you never put everything you do, right? I don't put I put my fails actually in lifting. But let's say for the last 2 weeks, I gained 5 kilograms. So I don't take a lot of picture of myself because I don't like myself. I'll lose them and then I'll post again. But people will skip that part. The part in which I wasn't, my image is not the image they are used to seeing. Like always in shape, always fresh, always training, and always this. And you hide this thing. You're used to hiding these weaknesses, which is not weakness. You're just a human. And all this image that you're creating, you sell it, and then you have to hit reality. And reality is not like this. We all have flaws. We all have problems. We all have issues.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know a girl that has an OnlyFans. She's got like 300,000 followers on Instagram and whatever. and then you meet her in real life and she's really shy and introverted, and it's like, okay, it's yeah, you're someone online. It's like a different alter ego. And then
Yeah, yeah.
reality, no, you know.
Well, that is fine. Of course, they make their money like this, but you should be like, how to say it, like, I know the reality of how I look and how I feel and what I do compared to the whole world, and the likes I get are not personally for me. That's how I see it. They are for the image I created. They're not mine. They're they're for the page. I'm not talking about her lifting. Let's say if I post a selfie, I took my best angle, of course. I didn't wake up, stare in the camera and take a selfie. So I had to make this for myself to distinguish those two images. That's not me.
Yeah, exactly. And I think girls especially, or even guys, they see other guys on the Instagram like, oh, that guy looks awesome, I want to be just like him. But they don't realize that he's probably hasn't taken a picture in months because he's off his steroids, and he's, you know, there's so many different things that it's a false reality, and people are painting this beautiful pictures of themselves, and it's just not true. So yeah, it's a good thing.
How manipulated we are into this, because I do this every day, you know, just like you guys. I'm online all the time, so I notice things, and I have to keep my mind straight. So I notice everything. Like in Snapchat, for example, they put a little filter on your eyes, so they get shinier, they pop out more, and people see themselves like this all the time, and they look in the mirror and like, what? How I look, they don't know how they look because you're filtered all the time and you don't even know it.
Yeah, it gives people a sense of security. They feel like you said, that those likes are for them, but it's just the image that they're portraying. And whether people are posting selfies or not, I would say 98% of people, probably higher than that, do it in some way. Like you said, you post your fails, but most people won't. Like, I can tell you, I don't have fails on my page.
Darrell's is 20-pound PR.
Yeah.
I post them in a story, never on a post. 4 hours, it doesn't stay there.
Yeah, just temporary fails. All right.
I used to that. I posted a fail in which I failed a pull-up, and I got like 100 comments of how I should do it. I did it 5 days later because I just didn't set up myself straight the first time when I was doing it. And I know why I failed. I know I could do it, but I posted it just for fun. You would be amazed. People like come and tell me like, oh, you should do this, don't do this. You should, and then you do it, and they're like,
Yeah. Do you ever have, like, Darrell and I get them sometimes, but you know, just haters on the Instagram that write, you know, stupid comments, and usually their profiles are private accounts, and they know no one can attack them, so they just sit back, and they're keyboard warriors is what we call them.
They're losers.
Losers.
Yeah, I have to be honest, I'm used to that, but sometimes it gets to me. I don't get offended if they call me ugly. That's okay. But when they call me stupid, it always gets to me. Like, I get a little bit nervous, and then I type something, and then I delete it because it's a weakness to answer this. But yeah, today, actually, it was recently today that somebody called me cheap attention seeker or something. It hurts. Like I have everything. I'm not an attention seeker, but it gets to you. You're human, of course. Yeah. Or sometimes type like, page needs a new admin. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, well, for me, I used to be a professional fighter too, so I get crazy when if someone, you know, just says something in a message. I'm like, come say that to my face. Let's see if you'd say that. No one would ever say that to your face. It's just always because they're hiding behind the screen, right?
Well, it used to be worse before this, but now when they know that the admin is a female, they are kind of nicer, to be honest. They don't attack me as much. I actually, let's forget about the haters because they are everywhere. And this, we should not pay attention to this, because when you pay attention to them, you just give them more more space to shine. There's a lot of smart people and a lot of funny people, and sometimes it's really a pleasure for me to open to DM and people are like, oh, thank you for running the page, it makes me feel better, you made my day, and stuff like this. This is what keeps me running.
I love it. Yeah, focus on the positive and fuck all those negative people and haters. Another thing, I just, because we have you here, I'd like to learn a little more about your country. You know, Bulgaria. It's I've always heard of it. You know, I lived in Japan for 11 years. I was there, and you know, I was training martial arts and fighting, and there was quite a few Bulgarian sumo wrestlers, believe it or not. They were quite strong. They're giant guys, but they, you know, I kind of got my, you know, knowing that they were powerful people in Bulgaria through sumo wrestling, believe it or not. But that being said, you know, if you look into the history of Bulgaria, and there's been tons of strong athletes, specifically in Olympic weightlifting, you know, that was kind of the Eastern Bloc, and that was, you know, the strongest people in the world in the Olympics were coming from that area. And Bulgaria is kind of famous for the, you know, the Bulgarian method, you know, high intensity training. So can you elaborate on that at all?
Of course. Yeah, you should distinguish the Olympic lifting from the powerlifting. This method is mostly applied for the Olympic lifting, and with the coach 𝐓.𝐆.𝐻, you should probably heard about him. He's a legend. He created most of the weightlifters in Bulgaria from their generation. Today, some of the things are still working, still applied, but not everything. To be honest, like researches are better. Like things are growing. Like people are getting more and more into what they should do based on research, which is good. I'm not saying that his method is not great. It's amazing, but it's mostly for weightlifting, for Olympic lifting. I used to work from the beginning when I started powerlifting with how to say older coaches, if you know what I mean. They apply more from this into the powerlifting, but things changed. I tried it, it works, but some mixture of the modern and the old is working better for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they don't add a volume into the work, and volume, I think, is a requirement. So
exactly, yeah. Volume and Olympic lifting don't really go together. That's how then it becomes CrossFit and you destroy yourself.
Yeah. We know a lot of the strongest people in the world come from Europe, and specifically more Eastern Europe. And especially when you're looking at powerlifting, you have some of the best lifters in the world are all throughout Europe. What do you think it is about that area of the world that makes the best lifters? And like, is it something about the culture living over there? Is strength celebrated a little bit more?
I was thinking about this question a lot today. I really did. Also about the previous one, because I think that if I say something wrong, my people are going to kill me. No, I'm joking. You can cut this off. But I really gave it a thought. So
yeah,
I think it's two things. First is traditions. We have the traditions. So that makes it quite very easy for you to go into lifting weights, into strength training, because you already have the perfect measurements for this.
Yeah.
So I think it's
yeah, exactly. If you have, yeah, like you said, you know, you're broader, but you have smaller levers. I'm not saying you guys have shorter arms and legs, but it's just.
I read this. I never thought when I was growing up that there will be a day when I'll say I want to have unsymmetrical.
In centimeter, I think it's 190.
Yeah, around there.
And you?
I think it's around there.
Yeah, I'm around the same, around 190. And my arms are the size of people's legs, and I do have giant hands. Like it's kind of crazy, but
Yeah, I'm a pretty average everyday guy.
really, wow.
I'm not
No,
even. I'm,
I'm just not used to such tall people, but it's fine. I mean, I myself, I
looked it up real quick. I'm 2 centimeter, but my brother and my sister are both 193. So
yeah,
I'm very small in my
Well, we have a
family.
brother that's 6'7".
6'4".
someone. I don't think I've seen someone who's too. Not a Bulgarian for sure.
Yeah, it's normal here that I'm just shorter than my family.
Yeah. And Darrell's dad was a professional basketball player, and he was 6'5", so that's probably like
195.
195, but that's short for basketball. So he was probably a guard, or
Yeah.
that's like a point guard. So, but yeah,
This it used to be like this, but the whole world changed, and now kids are mostly swimming and doing tennis and stuff like this. There is no a lot.
definitely they have a more formal kind of like sports and recreation built into the schools. Like kids have to join these clubs, and it's like the Rocky Four, Dolph Lundgren's training.
Japan always takes it to the next level, but yeah, no, we have a lot of base to work. Like this guy that I was talking about before the interview, Rostislav Petkov, who made this records, and he's an amazing. They didn't had 2/10 of weights. Plates, yeah, they didn't have two plates of 10, so they used to put 1 and 2 5s on the other side. It's not like we don't have gyms here in Sofia, but in most of them you cannot do powerlifting, so we have to go in some old school gyms.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing that athletes very spoiled. If they don't have perfect everything, they just can't lift and won't make do. And they don't realize that other people in the world are getting ridiculously strong with like
He needs more plates so he can put them on the bar. So he goes to another city to deadlift, and he squats in Sofia. So yeah, as for calibration, no. We cannot even think about this. Like you cannot find the full equipment of 𝐓.𝐆.𝐻𝐚 to do this. But we are fine, and we are doing fine, and we're getting stronger, and we are a community here, and we are really trying to compete on a world level.
Yeah, I think it's just that, like you said, you're more conservative because it's an older country, a long history, thousands of years. And, in Canada, we're 150 whatever years old. I don't even know that number, but, it's and we take a lot of stuff from America, like a lot of our culture, right? And, you go to America and the gyms there are just decked out with everything. We train at a gym that's pretty much just an old warehouse, really dirty, and I like it that way. But it's got enough plates for Darrell to deadlift, and some world-class lifters coming out of there. But I also like, I know you're a fan of fighting and UFC and MMA, and some of my favorite fighters have come out of Russia. 𝐓.𝐆.𝐻𝐚 𝐏 is and his brother, and a lot of great fighters come out of there, and they came from nothing, just a small town, but they had that toughness, right?
Yeah, toughness is created, and being humble, that really makes a difference. Because I don't know, it would be great if we have everything on hands to work with it, but then on the other hand, it's sweeter when you win, even though without having it.
yeah, because you worked for it more. You actually put in the time, and it paid off because you are doing it with not as much as everyone else and not making excuses like people over here do.
not making excuses is a huge thing. Like let's say even her lifting, people think like, oh, what she has, like, I have like 36,000 followers, but they don't know what it is to create a community from a country like here. I'm from Bulgaria. My reach is pretty small. It's so tiny. Imagine how much I needed to do to get to United States reach so I can create this. I mean, if I live in United States, it will be completely different. I will be having like 100,000 followers already. That's for sure. It's the same.
Yeah, it's that fighting spirit. It's awesome. All right, so moving along, we just want to know, like, for people that want to reach out to you, is there any way people can reach out just through her lifting, or do you have a website, or what's the best way to get a hold of you?
I don't have a website because I don't find it necessary yet to have it, but they can find me in her lifting, and they can also should probably definitely follow Powerlifting Motivation, because we work together. And my personal account is Jana Osmak, and you know it, you've seen me there. So yeah, that's it for now. That's one man's show. So
Awesome, yeah. So Darrell, we have a section that we like to, a new one, we just dropped it last week. What is it about?
We have a section on our show called Would You Rather, where you're gonna pick, there'll be given two things, and would you rather do one thing or the other? So we thought we would ask you one of these questions. It's nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
I saw it. I was actually looking forward for it. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think I already know the answer because we know you're badass, but well, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio is a pretty awesome, sexy dude. But okay, here's the question. If you could choose one, would you rather spend a week training with 𝐓.𝐆.𝐻 Bjornsson in Iceland, doing strongman, powerlifting, jumping in fucking iceberg water and whatever he does out there, or spend a week vacationing in Europe on a yacht with Leonardo DiCaprio, drinking wine, having parties, whatever? Which would...
I'll go. Of course, I'll go for the ice. I live in Europe.
Awesome, yeah. So you want to train with 𝐓.𝐆.𝐻 rather than DiCaprio?
Is DiCaprio training at all?
I don't think so. Is this training? I don't
drink. I don't drink alcohol, so yeah, it bothers my squats. Then I cannot brace. If I drink too much the other day and I'm a little bit of hangover, then I cannot brace my core. So no.
Oh, really? Wow. I'm the opposite. I usually get drunk the night before a meet, but I'm crazy. So
really?
I don't drink at all.
He doesn't drink at all. That's probably why he's better than me right now. But yeah, I'm old school. I like just to, you know, lay it all on the line. And I found it, you know, those nights where I did get hammered before, that first squat, I wasn't nervous because I was still probably half drunk.
Well, if they tested you, they would fail.
It's out of your system. I'm not.
And do you guys compete? Do you have big competitions?
Yeah, with our competitions, so here in Canada, everything was kind of shut down because of Corona. So I actually managed to get in one meet this year in February, and I got my biggest pull in competition, 363 kilo.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you. And it was the first ever in my federation in Canada. So that was a big milestone. I've gotten stronger since then, but pretty much lockdown happened right after that. So there haven't really been any big meets or anything to test out. Hopefully next year things will open up, but that kind of brings me to a question I had. What is your plan for next year? If things were to go back to normal, how would you ideally like to compete next year, or what are your plans?
do you have a federation in Canada? Like, do you have IPF or VRPF?
Yeah,
Which-
the version of IPF. So there's an IPF. It's just called the CPU,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one of them. That's one of the drug tested feds. We're in another one right now, 100% raw. There's a CPL, drug tested federation, and there's now recently the WRPF is now in Canada. So I want to try that out next year, ideally.
Yeah, I'm going to WRPF. I was in WRPF, so I got banned from IPF, and this is our federation here in Bulgaria. So there was one meet, and I was banned from it. So, because if you compete in VRPF, this is how we call it, and this is how Russians call it, VRPF. Then you cannot compete in IPF for a year. You get banned
Instantly for nothing, just
in-
because for doing it?
instantly, because they don't consider their drug tests for valid.
Yeah, I mean, Darrell and I.
So, as for the next year, I'm planning on going back to Russia and to competing in the World Championship, which is every December in Moscow. It's pretty amazing competition. And last year I was there and I met met a lot of guys. I met Yuri Belkin personally and Kirill Sarychev
Oh, wow.
Oh, cool.
guy.
Yeah.
He's as big as you are, actually.
He's probably bigger than me, I think.
No, I think he's pretty much your size. Yes.
Yeah, well, he's definitely stronger than me. But I
Oh,
think I
yeah.
could win in a fight. So yeah, well, Darrell and I also, that's the reason we don't compete in the IPF or CPU here. Just doesn't seem fun, and there's all these weird politics, and that's why we don't like it. And they, you know, the equipment companies have to pay extra money. It's fucking bullshit.
Well, whenever I see this IPF meeting, I respect IPF a lot. They are probably the most respected. They are the most respected out of all of them. But when you see a competition, it looks like a biology exam.
Yeah.
Everybody is so stressed, and there is no music, and only these judges with the white shirts. I mean, they make me nervous only by looking at them. And then when you look at competition from WRPF, it's so much different, and you have Rammstein in the back. And
Yeah. I mean, 100% Raw is more similar to that. We have a lot of fun. They play music. You know, we have at the Worlds last year, 2019, you know, Darrell and I both came in first place with gold. It's an awesome time. We got friends all over the world. You know, a lot of these big guys from the States come up. It's just a great atmosphere. So, yeah, that's, you know, whatever, people have their choices. And it surprises me because, you know, drug testing in the bigger organization, maybe IPF, they have a high standard, they say, but I don't think they test barely enough people. And there's a lot of people using, and I know that for sure.
I don't know how they test, but yeah, I don't want to say anything about this because this is a deep water, and we shouldn't even go there. But I wanted to tell you something. Like I've been on competitions. Like a few times I won only by pure luck because I started recently. I mean, it's the last 3 years that I'm competing, and of course it takes much more time to get advanced and to be competitive for real. But out of all the competitions that I ever won, I went to this competition that is for endurance, and there was this girl before me, and she squat 70 times 70 with 50 kilograms.
Wow.
On the we are like 60 kilograms each. Like we are tiny. I did 71.
Wow.
This was the hardest I've ever done in my life. I mean, squatting once, it's hard, but 71, I mean, I couldn't walk for 3 weeks, probably. Couldn't walk stairs.
Awesome. All right, Jana, well, thanks for joining us. It's been an awesome interview, and we hopefully will have you on soon again. So stay healthy and keep on training hard.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. It's a great pleasure and an honor for me. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
No problem. It was great talking to you.
Quit being a fake fuck. Hard truths. You can't handle the truth.
So, since we're going to keep it real, as always, it's time to hear some hard truths. First hard truth is your genetics aren't holding you back, but your shit work ethic is. So, what this comes down to is a lot of people, when they see someone else do a feat that they can't, they'll just automatically blame genetics. Oh, you're genetically gifted. That's why you can hit this lift. Your leverages are better. I don't care who you are. There's very, very rare people out there who don't have an advantage in at least one lift. And even though you might be disadvantaged in something, doesn't mean you won't have leverages for something else. Yes, I have very long arms, so it's going to make me a good deadlifter ideally. There's a lot of people with long arms who fucking suck at deadlifting. There's a lot of short arm people who are actually phenomenal. You just work with what you have. Your genetics don't make up who you're going to be. Yes, they help, but maybe if you actually put in some work under the bar instead of whining like a little bitch that you weren't blessed with certain leverages, you'd get more progress.
Hell yeah. And I mean, most of those people out there that are champions, whether it be lifting, MMA, whatever fucking sport it is, generally it's their work ethic that got them there. Maybe they are a little bit blessed with DNA, genetics, you know, maybe they have some athleticism, whatnot, but it's the hard work that got them there. You know, look at someone like Kobe Bryant, you know, the Mamba mentality. He was in the gym in the mornings at 5 a.m. doing all, you know, 300 free throws before anybody else got to practice. It's these motherfuckers that are willing to put in the time and effort. And, you know, talent, it's something, but I often find people that have talent waste the fuck out of it. There's so many people I know that could have done amazing things, whether it be powerlifting, whether it be MMA. I saw them to be champions, but they just stop coming to practice. They stop putting in the work, or they come with this excuse that, oh, I don't like to compete, or I shut the fuck up. So you either work hard and try to make that thing a reality, or, you know, maybe you're gifted, but you fade out. So you decide your fate, and a lot of it's all about what you put into it. Got it?
Health and fiction.
All right,
That's
everybody. Health
bullshit.
and fiction. So what we want to talk about today is just with injuries, you know, do you think injuries happen just because of bad form? That's not always the case. People can have tremendous form. I've had some awesome lifts where my form was on point, but something just gave out. You get hurt. Injuries are bound to happen if you play fucking dangerous games, if you're a fucking gangster and you do sports that push your limits. You can go out there and be a badminton player and play some ping pong. That's fine. Go do that. You probably get injured doing that too. But what I'm saying is when you got a fucking bar on your back that's double, triple your body weight, there's going to be a chance here and there that you're going to hurt something. And it's not because your form was bad. And it's not the end of the fucking world. Darrell and I hurt ourselves all the time. I've blown out, you know, my fucking knee. I have no ACL in there. Darrell, fucking multiple knee injuries, surgeries. I mean, we've been through it. The thing that's different between us and most people is we don't make that excuse, right? We, you know, decide that we're going to fucking treat the problem, attack it, and move on. Darrell.
Yeah, you can always work around shit, but that takes mental strength, and a lot of people don't have that shit. I could quite easily, after every squat session, say I can't do this because my knees won't allow it. I've had 3 knee surgeries, and this was all before powerlifting. I've torn my quad, torn my ham, torn both ankles. I could easily say I can't squat because I have bad knees. Instead, you hear motherfuckers in the gym all the time who can't squat because they have bad knees. No, you're probably just a pussy and you don't want to get under a bar.
And that is the difference between health and fiction.
Would you rather?
Would you rather?
So we touched on it a bit in the interview, but we want to do another section of Would You Rather.
This is our favorite news section because there's so many fucking things that just make you uncomfortable. Boom!
All right, gonna kick it off a little tame, keep it easy. Russ, would you rather be vegan with a full head of hair or bald as fuck and eat whatever you want?
Well, I already rocked the fucking hat down and the hair down low down to the fucking the grinder here, so I'm good. I'd rather be bald and eat fucking beef curtains and steaks all day long than be a vegan with nice hair. All right, Darrell, moving along to something a little more dark and funny, but very intellectually stimulating, if you ask me. Darrell, would you rather have finger-sized nipples or your fingers that are the size of nipples?
That's honestly another no-brainer for me. I would take the finger-sized nipples because, let's be real, I'm not going to be shirtless most of the time, and I'm just going to get them removed.
Well, I don't think removal is an option, but those would be some pretty awesome high beams.
All right, Russ, I got one for you. I know you got a big appetite.
Yeah.
Would you rather eat shit-flavored chocolate or chocolate-flavored shit?
Oh, shit. Well, don't really like the taste of shit, but then again, I don't really want to eat human feces. That's a tough one. I'm gonna have to go with the shit-flavored chocolate, even though, you know, it's not real shit, so I can kind of live with myself after that, even though that tasty chocolatey shit might taste amazing. I might catch a fucking virus or some weird bacterial thing going on with that, so I'll have to give up the bucket of shit. All right, everybody, you know we like the shit and the shit talking. Holy shit. Here's another shit joke. So, Darrell, would you rather take one shit and shit yourself in public once a year, or shit yourself privately every day in your dumb little fucking pants? Darrell?
Probably in public, because realistically, it doesn't say I have to be in my city. So as long as it's not in front of my people, I could handle once, and not everyone's going to know.
Yeah, I mean, I have shit myself before in public, and, you know, generally you can hide it and hopefully get somewhere safe before it trickles down your pantaloons and onto the floor. Thank you, everybody. Boom!
Would you rather?
Would you rather?
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to Two Guys, One Bench. Hope you enjoyed our interview with Jana from Her Lifting. Be sure to go check out her page, give her some likes, and follow.
And don't forget our @Powerlifting Motivation sponsors. They're connected. That's awesome. And subscribe to our channel, everybody, because we love having you as fans, and it just pops up onto your feed automatically. And don't forget to eat big,
Train hard,
and always be fight ready.
Two guys, one bench.
Shit talking. Strength sports. Combat sports. Choices and consequences. Misfit. Resolute. Prepare yourself for battle. Home gyms YYC. Generation. Strength coach. Discover your power.
Muteki Strong Mindset with host Russell Peel.